Welcome to the Coach Sing Show, offering you the latest creative content marketing tips to help you work less, earn more, and help more people. Are you a coach singer yet? Join the community where the world's best coaches, therapists, authors, and speakers come to discover the latest industry trends and partner with other like-minded professionals. Go to coachsing.com/community to join. And now, here's your host, Doug Foresta.
Hello, and welcome back to the Coach Sing Show. This is your host, Doug Foresta, and this is a show we help you, coaches, therapists, speakers, and authors to work less, earn more, and help more people through creative content marketing. Back with me today are two of my favorite people, Mike and Robin Pajota, and we're going to be talking about all things marketing. Mike and Robin are the real deal. I know you'll get a lot out of this episode, so stay tuned. I also want to remind you that if you haven't heard the first episode they did, it was really fantastic. So I want to just give a shout out and say, go back and listen to that one as well. Mike and Robin Pajota are hilarious, rebellious, bullcrap exposing, forward-thinking marketing strategists, mentors, and coaches that teach the hottest and most fun online marketing methods today. They've transformed hundreds of their clients into rule breakers and money makers through authority branding, product and program launches, visibility, list building, and conversion techniques that have resulted in multi-million-dollar successes. Robin and Mike are those crazy dreamers who believe that it's possible for everyone to build a unique and profitable biz that everyone's talking about. And as stay-at-home parents, they believe that making tons of money is pointless if you're strapped for time. So they've mastered the art of leveraging and maximizing every ounce of your online marketing so you can serve more people, make insane amounts of money, and have the freedom to enjoy it all. And I encourage you to visit marketingmegaminds.com. That's marketingmegaminds.com. Mike and Robin Pajota, welcome back to the Coach Sing Show.
What's up, man? Thanks for having us.
Hey, thanks so much. And so yeah, let's get to it. Like I said, I've learned so much from the two of you. I'd love to hear from you what your favorite content creation hack or shortcut is. You guys create a lot of great content.
Good question, man. I would probably, we probably have like two favorites, I would say. And one of them, as you shared in our intro, we're kind of bullcrap exposing, forward thinking kind of people. So one of our favorite ways to create content really is we just react to life, like things that happen, or maybe something happens with my son, or we're out to dinner, or I see things. I've kind of got these glasses on now. I've kind of trained myself to just start looking at everything that happens in my everyday life and how it could apply to business or marketing or online strategies and be able to bring that into content. And I think why it works so well is because it's so relatable to people. So we get the ability to teach like our angles and our strategies, but we use it via like something that my 4-year-old did, or my 9-month-old daughter, or our dogs, or something that we saw when we were out to dinner or something. And so everyday people can relate to it. There's lessons, and it really, really works well.
And you know what's so good about the reacting to life way of creating content is that that's how you're always going to be original, right? There's never going to be anybody copying you because they're your own stories. They're your own personal reactions to what you're seeing and hearing around you. So it keeps it original. It keeps it fresh where people are like, oh, I just love what you guys write. It doesn't sound so canned. It doesn't sound like everything that everybody else is saying because it just comes right out, just randomly out of us. And like, if anybody listening is like me, when it comes to the thought of creating content, and I say that with my little air quotes, it freaks me out personally. And that would be funny for a lot of people who follow us to know that, because they're like, oh my gosh, you guys are content creating machines.
Absolutely.
But really the thought of it, of like staring at a blank screen, opening a Word document and like sitting down to write content, I would totally freeze up. I can't just think up some content to write. So me personally, I write content best when someone asks a question. And so a lot of times people might be thinking, well, I don't have an existing audience. I don't have people that are asking me questions constantly. I'm not an authority already. So where are going to be the people to ask me a question? Well, a perfect place is in a Facebook group Mike and I, we have a Facebook group. We're in tons of other Facebook groups, and people are asking questions all day, every day in these groups. So if somebody's asking a question, they might not be asking it to you, but you might have a really good answer. You might have a really good story to tell. You might have a really good point to make. And that's content. Every time you're answering a question in a group, that's content. I'm constantly copying, pasting things that I say in a group and pasting them into a Word document. Like, oh my gosh, let me just add to this. This is going to be a great blog, or this is going to be a great email. So it just comes from real life. Or when you're looking in these Facebook groups, basically they're a hotbed for what I like to call writing prompts. Because I can't just like think of something to write off the top of my head. It freezes me up. But there's writing prompts everywhere. If I see somebody said something really dumb.
Yep.
If somebody says something really dumb and I'm like, that is the worst advice I've ever heard in my life, and I've got like something to say about it, anytime that I see or hear something that invokes a response in me, like I've got something to say about that topic, bam, I'm writing it down. And a really good thing that I've been doing lately is that instead of necessarily commenting in the groups and joining in on the conversations and commenting in the groups, I've been taking whatever my response would be to that question or my response to a quote unquote dumb thing I think somebody said, then I'll write it down in a Word document. And I'm like, this is going to be a great email for next week. And we've got Mike and I, as you know us, we're completely opinionated people and we have very strong opinions.
I don't know what you guys stand for. You're so wishy-washy. It's one day. Oh, yeah. No, I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot. I actually watch you guys, and I try to. It's on two levels. One is I love what you do, and I love your approach. But I also try to deconstruct what you're doing because I know it's really valuable. And there's a couple things. One is like, for example, when you talk about using like something that happens to your kids or your dog. Like your kids are so freaking cute, by the way. They're just adorable.
Thank you.
And I think that's part of though to me why I was saying to you before we went on, like. I feel like I know you guys, like we've never met in person, but I said, I feel like you're my cousins from the Italian side of my family. Like I would trust you that much. And I feel like a lot of that has to come from the way you share content.
Definitely.
Oh, absolutely. We always like to say there's only really two ways to get people to trust you. And they say, the know, like, and trust factor is so important. But really that concept evades most people. They don't really know what to do with it or how it really works in application. But really the best way to create a trust, especially in the online world, there's really only two ways. It is to confide in someone or to get them to confide in you. And so really when we're sharing content and we're sharing stories and stuff, we're really just putting ourselves out there. We're making ourselves vulnerable. We're telling stories, especially me. I'm kind of a loose cannon with my thoughts.
No.
Yeah, I can know, like you guys used to have the one account, but I could tell who was posting, even if you didn't have your name. I know when it's Mike and I know when it's Robin.
So like there's no filter there. If I'm thinking something, I say it, even if, I have to say later, well, that probably wasn't the nicest thing to say or whatever. But putting yourself out there and just being so real and so raw, it makes other people feel like you just said, like I've known you forever. I could tell you anything,
right? Because
we're making ourselves vulnerable.
You make yourselves vulnerable. Yeah. It's, so, and we may already, this is sort of, it may be a segue or maybe we may have already started this discussion, but one of the things you guys do really well is you get a lot of engagement. Like anything you put out there, you get a lot of engagement, whether it's, obviously I can't see the engagement you get from like emails, but I'm assuming, I bet when you ask questions on emails, you get a ton of engagement. So do you have any tips for our listeners about, how to get more engagement? Everybody, that's like some people's biggest question. They're like, I can't, I put something out there and nobody replies.
I think there's two sides to that. The first thing I would say to everybody out there, never create content for the purpose of getting engagement. Just create good stuff.
Yes.
And I say that because a lot of people really do. They sit down like, okay, how do I create?
Here's my engagement content.
How do I create something that people are going to engage with?
And then it's canned. It's
canned.
You're not really trying to connect with people. You're not really trying to get to know people. You're not really trying to have a conversation. You're trying to have a popularity contest. And people can really feel. They can feel and sense the difference. If you're really being vulnerable, like we were talking about before, and you're really putting yourself out there, and you're a naturally curious person, and you just really like to explore what other people are thinking, there's a big difference in that versus let me find out what I can post today that, this will sure get a lot of likes and comments.
Yeah, so in light of that, just over this past, couple of weeks or so, I've been sharing a lot of just stories from my life, having been in prison when I was younger, and that side of things. And what has happened is, I just told stories. I just genuinely shared, what happened, what I learned from it, and how it may help somebody else.
Yeah.
And not only has it gotten huge engagement, but the things that people are saying have been very open, very vulnerable, very real. And the reason is because when you just be real and be genuine, you attract that to yourself. You elicit that. You kind of give people permission. It's kind of like the dance floor syndrome. And there's an idea around.
Yeah, one person starts dancing, right?
Bam. Yeah, nobody will start dancing until that one person starts. The same thing. Think about content like that. Think about content where if you are willing to be that first person, to be open, to be vulnerable, to be genuine, to be real, you give permission to other people to follow suit.
Yeah. And one thing also to add to that is that earlier you were saying sometimes you like to try to deconstruct what we're doing so that you can kind of try to follow suit. Well, so with one side of what Mike is sharing is that it comes from a heart place. Right. You really have to be real and genuine. But at the same time, there are certain things that you can do to get the engagement going. So, but you can't do one without the realness first. The realness has to be there. But once that's there, you can use things like, I say these things a lot when I'm talking. I'll say things like, is it just me? Yeah. Or, and then blah, 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 spout my rant off. Or I'll say, take the approach of am I the only one who thinks blah, 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 blah. Or sometimes if I'm saying something that's really opinionated and it could be polarizing and I really want to welcome other opinions that are on the opposite side of where I'm already standing firm, but I do kind of want to know what other people think, I'll use this thing that's enlighten me. Kind of phrase. So saying things like that, those really do help to get engagement. Is it just me? Am I the only one? Enlighten me. Those kind of things. But just with the caveat that, don't force it and fake it and can it.
The golden nugget there that I see is to get more engagement, stop trying to get more engagement.
Certainly.
Yeah. And just really, like you said, there's things you can do, but I know, I'm not trying to be Mike and Robin Pajota. That's not gonna go well. That's not gonna go well for me. First of all, you both have much more wonderful hair than I do. And so, yeah, I'm not trying to be you guys, but I think, it's like you said, I think it's really actually really profound. It's like most people are not getting engagement because they're trying to come up with they're up in their heads doing some secret ninja tip, whereas this is who you guys are, right? I think people get that. This is who you are. It's not an act. It's not a show. It's not something that you really are being yourselves.
Definitely. And and it's pretty, people can tell that we're not trying to get engagement. And you could tell those posts that people put out there and you read it and you're really? You could tell there's they were trying to get engagement and it's not genuine. And the worst thing is when maybe you might respond to one of those. The worst thing that ever happens is when you do respond to a particular person or a comment or something, and then they don't say anything back or they don't respond or reply or anything. Completely kills it for them. So that's the other side of it. When you do get, you put out something and maybe you get, 1 or 2 likes or a comment or two. Individually respond to those people because it will encourage them when you post things in the future, and it will, let other people know that you're really going to be there. You're really going to answer. Like, that's one thing that folks know about Robin and I, is that when we put something out there, whatever it is, they know that we will engage in conversation with you on any level, whether it's a debate, whether we agree with you, right, whether we disagree with you, on any level, we will show up and comment. I think that's a big deal.
That's a really good point, because think of it as like clicks and stuff. I have felt the clickiness on Facebook, and I'm sure if you're listening, you have felt it too. You see something in your news feed, a great conversation, you jump in and you share your opinion or you share your thoughts because they asked for them. They asked you to share them. And then you notice that the only people they're going back and forth with on the thread are people that they already know, that they're already cool with. And when a stranger shows up, it's like a ghost town, and they're all laughing together. You feel like it's like back in high school, the cool girls, they're all laughing together and you're left out kind of feeling. So pay attention to that. If there's somebody who's bold enough that has never interacted with you before, and you notice that they're interacting on your thread, be sure to welcome them with open arms, even if they're saying things that you think is crazy.
Well, this is something there's another takeaway in here, and I want to just bring this out, which is I hear a lot of people talk to me and they go, Doug, I want to have more followers, blah, 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 but I don't want to really I don't want to be on social media. I don't want to talk to people. I don't want to interact with them. What would you say to that? I guess would be my question.
Well, then what I would say is you don't deserve a following.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't want to engage with people and you don't want to interact and build relationships, I would question, why do you want a following? It seems just self-serving. And so,
well, I want them to buy my products.
Yeah, I want them to buy my stuff, right? But I don't want to actually interact and serve people. I read this quote the other day, and hopefully I can say it right. That it says, if you're not willing to serve, you don't deserve to be a leader.
That's great.
And it really applies to community building and creating a following. To be honest, the people that create the greatest followings aren't necessarily trying to create followings. They're trying to serve people. Right. And the following just naturally happens.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And they're being themselves. I think that's the piece for you guys that is you're being who you are. You're not, this isn't like an act you put on to sell programs.
No. Hugely important piece is you have to be genuine. I mean, you have to really be who you are. And this is something we work with our clients. We talk about it in our Mega Minds group. We put that stuff out there on Facebook a lot. And this particular question is one that Robin and I get all the time, because people, when they interact with us, they get the genuineness, they get the realness. And so they're always asking us, how do you do that? How do you, and it's just really just be who you are, own it, be genuine, and be willing to put it out there.
And I will say this, and I'll say this way, I think a lot of people don't have the courage to really be who they are.
I would definitely agree with that. Years ago, probably the first time Robin and I launched this program way back, maybe 3 years ago almost, it was called Marketing Game Changer. And one of the students had asked us on a group coaching call, he's like, how do you create fanatics? How do you create people that are loyal fanatics of you? And I said, have balls.
Yep.
And he was like, what? What do you? I said, it's that simple. I said, and here's why. And you look at the music industry, why do people follow these eccentric artists so well? The Lady Gagas or the Marilyn Mansons or whoever's these really because they give voice and personality to what those people aren't courageous enough to put out there. And so they create such a huge following. So people that are willing to have a pair, as Larry Winger would say,
that's right,
have cojones and just be out there, because you now get a base of people and you become the voice of the majority who's afraid to share their voice.
I love it. So guys, like I said, I just want to say, listeners, I've learned so much from both of you about marketing and about, and you guys really serve people that, have a purpose in the world, that have a bigger purpose, but they still obviously want to have a business. Can you tell our listeners what's the best way if they want to get in touch with you, they want to connect with you? What's the best way for them to do that?
There's a couple ways. Obviously, you can go to our website, which is marketingyourpurpose.com. But probably one of the best ways to, connect with us, interact. We're talking a lot about community here and engagement and these kind of things. We have a Facebook group. It's called Marketing Megaminds. And you can either search in Facebook for it or just go marketingmegaminds.com. Get access to it. Get in the group. There's thousands of people in there, lots of marketers. Robin and I are in there engaging, talking to folks, and there's a ton of freebies you can get. And once you get in there, go to the files tab. We put a whole bunch of, freebies, PDFs, audio trainings, all kind of cool stuff for folks to access.
Mike and Robin Pajota, thank you so much for joining me. My goal is to have you back on Coach Thing before you have your third child.
I think we are done, man. One boy, one girl. We are good.
You're good, huh? You're good. All right. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you.
So thanks, everyone, for listening. And I want to remind you, if you haven't subscribed to the podcast, go to iTunes, click the subscribe button. It takes less than 3 seconds to do, and you'll get all the new episodes. We'll be back Monday through Friday with more great guests, helping you to work less, earn more, and help more people through creative content marketing. Till next time, this is Doug Foresta at The Coach Sing Show.
Thanks for listening to The Coach Sing Show. Need help getting your book out of your head and onto paper? Need help marketing your books or speaking engagements? We can do it for you. Go to CoachSing.com to learn more. Are you a coach singer yet? Join the Coach Singers community where the world's best coaches, therapists, authors, and speakers meet. You'll get exclusive access to private mastermind calls where you can get instant marketing help from industry experts. Plus, we'll help you forge deals and partnerships with other like-minded professionals. Go to CoachSing.com/community to join now.